All right.
Play something. Somebody play something.
It's a good show. It's a great show. It's a shit show. Pickle Rick show. Not a Jerry show. Scary Terry show. Lick my balls show. Szechuan sauce show. It's the fucking Rick and Morty fan show. Bitch.
What's up, bitches? Yeah. Welcome into the Rick and Morty fan show, guys. We got an exciting show. We're going to talk a lot about season 5. I know we're going to talk. That's the way it is. It's season 5. It's coming up. It's the first new season that we're covering on this show. We've only been around for 3-4 months now, so that's, it's really big, exciting news. But we also got the episode titles for every episode, so that's going to keep us guessing and wondering. If you guys haven't seen this yet, you can look it up. But I'm about to tell you all the episode names. So we have all of the, and I think 9 out of 10 of them are all like spin-offs or spoofs or parodies of real movies. So should be interesting to figure that out. Also, if you guys have checked out Matt Conway's puzzle picture, that is on Facebook right now. If you guys saw it, you can comment in the section what you think it might be. My wife actually solved it before I did, so that's, I guess she watches Rick and Morty pretty much as often as I do because I just make her watch it all the time. So, so we are going to talk about that. We're going to talk a little bit about Rick and Morty spin-offs. I was excited to talk. That was the big topic that we we're going to talk about. And then this shit came out, another trailer and all the season episode titles were like, so that kind of blew out the other topic here, but we will get to that. So I would like, I don't even want to make you guys wait anymore. I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time before we get to the awesome stuff, but I do want you guys to, if you can, throw a like in this video. Comment on the video if you can. If you want to comment, hey, great show, that guy has fucking goofy hair, whatever the shit you want. Comments are good, likes are good, subscribes are the most important. So if you are not subscribed to Fandom Empire, I hate you. No, I'm just kidding. If you're not...
Let's be real here for a second. That's not goofy hair. That's sexy hair.
I'm pretty good with it. I don't know. My wife's in the chat. I don't know if you want to poke that. But anyways, so, yes, yeah. So, subscribe to Fandom Empire. They will notify you whenever I go on the air. They'll let you know about even my extra content that's coming up. Like I said, I got an awesome interview in with Abed Gaith, a staff writer for Interdimensional Cable, and I'm getting that out to you as quickly as possible to get you some inside information, some sweet stuff that nobody else knows, guys. I'm getting it. All right, well, let's get into it because it's not a super long show, so let's get to the meat, guys. Let me just consult the show notes book. I don't know if you guys have seen this book yet, but one of my students at school bought it for me, and it now is the Rick and Morty fan show notes book. And I wrote down all the titles in here. Now, before I let you know all of these titles, something that's really interesting to me, they don't match up with almost any of the episodes that we've seen commercials for. So I'm wondering if there's a possibility that this is a hoax put out by it is put out by Adult Swim, so it's not someone who made this up. But I wonder if they're trying to play a trick on us because they like to do that. Like at Rick and Morty, they could just have come up with 10 fake titles, thrown them out there, And then when the season comes, it's not at all the titles of the episodes. That would be interesting, funny. I think that would be something they could pull off. So, I mean, that's possible. It's possible that none of these are actually the show title notes because, just because there's only one I can really match up, and that's the Voltron episode, definitely has a title here. So, without further ado, the first episode that they listed is called Mort Dinner, Rick Andre. Now, obviously, Rick and Morty are put in every episode title. Actually, that's something that I don't know if anyone remembers the show Third Rock from the Sun. The title of every episode had the name Dick in it and would have some innuendo or something funny for the episode title. But Rick and Morty does that too. They throw Rick and Morty in lots of things. Now, this is a spoof of My Dinner with Andre, which is, if any of you guys are fans of Dan Harmon and Community, they did a whole episode where Abed, the character, was obsessed with this movie, My Dinner with Andre. And that movie is basically entirely a conversation. Like, the whole movie is basically taking place during a conversation at a restaurant. Great episode. I know that Solo Dolo in our chat here. I know he knows what I'm talking about because he's a big Community fan. So what could that entail? We've seen, if I can remind you, we've seen the Mr. Nimbus clips. We've seen the Hellraiser Rick and Morty. We've seen Time Crystals. We've seen Voltron. We've seen a whole bunch of Ricks shooting at each other. We've seen a bunch of robots and crazy Transformers. And we've seen a weird alien dog thing, come out. And basically, we've seen a shit ton of the Voltron part. We've seen a lot of that Voltron episode out, so we know kind of how that's going to play out. It's basically just going to be a spoof of Voltron. I'm seeing, we must have seen 5 minutes of that episode. So the next one, I find this funny. So I was reading up on when I went to go check for these names so I could write them down, because they sent them out in a video. The second episode is called Mortiplicity, and when I saw that, someone said that it was supposed to be a spoof or parody of the movie Duplicity, which is like a romantic comedy. I'm fairly sure that it's supposed to be a spoof of Multiplicity, a movie that has Michael Keaton in it, where he clones himself so that he can, do all the stuff that he wants and hang out with his wife and take, basically he clones himself so he can get everything done at once and also enjoy, doing crazy shit. So he figures out how to clone himself. He clones himself. So this is where I see a bunch of Ricks happening. So if the episode is called Mortiplicity, I think that's the one where we see a bunch of Ricks going after that weird Mr. Poopy Butthole looking character. I don't know. He's wearing looks like he's wearing a jail outfit or something like that. But so that is that's probably where we see that. The second episode they listed Mortiplicity. The third episode is called Rick Pendant's Spray, not Rick Pendant's Day. So I'm not sure if it's some sort of Independence Day thing. Maybe that has to do with the episode that it looks like technology is taking over. Because there was one episode where everything looks all techy. It looks like somehow they've transformed the world into some weird streamlined robot world. So I'm thinking that's a possibility for that one. By the way, guys, let me know in the chat what you guys think. If you guys pull out any of these episodes and say, hey, this could be where this happens in all the trailers. I hope you guys have all seen the most recent trailer featuring the Beastie Boys song playing throughout the whole thing. So, yeah, I was actually, I'm a pretty big Beastie Boys fan, so I was pretty excited about that too. The fourth episode is called Amortican Graffiti, so American Graffiti. I am not sure where anything is going to tie into that. I haven't seen the movie American Graffiti. I'm not really all that interested in seeing American Graffiti, but All right, guys, I've been fired. It's been nice while it lasted, guys.
Can I just say, if you haven't seen American Graffiti yet, that you should absolutely sit down with your wife and watch that, because it's just a wonderful sort of like family, sort of lighthearted comedy that George Lucas did that I think you guys would love.
Wait, George Lucas, did he write it?
Yeah, I think he did the whole thing. If it wasn't for, I'm surprised you haven't heard this. If it wasn't for American Graffiti, apologies for let me pause that. So if it wasn't for American Graffiti, Star Wars never would have been made. They hired George Lucas based on his success with American Graffiti.
Oh.
Fox, that is.
Oh, well, I mean, I have heard of the movie, and I thought it might be the one, but if he wrote the dialogue, I'm less interested in seeing it. But, well, maybe I'll get around to it. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a watch along. Who knows? So not entirely sure where the plot's going to go with that one. We have a Rick Venient Mort. So it could be An Inconvenient Truth, which is a documentary. I'm not sure if this is. I'm not sure if this is going to be some sort of like apocalyptic thing. I think it's possible they could tie that into the weird Hellraiser episode, but I'm not entirely sure where they're going to get where we're going to get that. We did get a little bit more of that Hellraiser episode looking type stuff in the new trailer, but they haven't really. All we know is that they're going to go and save Jerry in this weird Hellraiser world where everyone's wearing some crazy BDSM shit and all sorts of crazy piercings and I don't know, all sorts of crazy shit. I don't know. If you guys haven't seen Hellraiser, then you don't know what I'm meaning, but if you've seen Hellraiser, then they look like crazy Cinnabites, so which just sounds like some sort of fucking pastry if you don't know. We also have the Thanksploitation Spectacular. I'm not sure exactly what that's going to be. It sounds like it could be a clip show or some sort of. I feel like if you're thinking of like exploiting things, I think for Harmon and Royland, that would be exploiting the audience. So I don't know if that's kind of a. My thought was that it was a nod to clip shows where they barely had to fucking do anything, and then they just threw it out there. So my thought was, yeah, that maybe it's some sort of clip show, like a la The Simpsons when they used to do that. And that's my thought. Oh, Lance Livingstone in with a super chat. Thank you. American Graffiti is a classic. Fine. If Lance says, if Sean says see it, then I'm like, eh. If Lance says see it, then no, I should probably watch it. No, I'm just kidding. Am I fired again? No, I'm not fired again. Okay, good. Thank you again, Lance. Appreciate the super chat. Also, guys, if if you want me to read your shit, like for sure, like on air for sure, send a super chat in, guys. It helps the show, helps my giveaways. I hope you guys have noticed all my nice new stuff that Lance has sent me, and a bunch of it's going to you guys because we're going to do big giveaways when season 5 comes out. Our season 5 spectacular is just around the corner, and we're going to be giving away lots of things, like lots of sweet shit, like Hemorrhage. We're going to be giving away Hemorrhage. Look at him. It's fucking awesome. All right. We'll set them down here. So thank you very much for that super chat. On to what is obviously going to be the Voltron episode. It's called Gotron, Jerisis, Rick Vangeline. I don't know exactly how you say that word, but I know that that's an anime. So it's definitely, I'm fairly sure that it's got to be the Voltron episode. I really thought there was a good chance we were getting that Voltron episode first. But if this is in order, we're getting that seventh. So that should be really interesting. I don't know if this is the actual order. It's going to be interesting because the one that I'm least interested in probably is the first one. We have Rick Turtle, Friendshine of the Spotless Mort, which is obviously Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, which is a really great movie. I love that movie. I'm not sure what that's going to tie into. One of the things that I do like is that a lot of these movies I'm a fan of. I like Independence Day. I like Eternal Sunshine. So it's cool that also the music that they used in all three of the trailers were all from bands that I liked, songs that I liked. So it's really cool that I'm getting the same sort of vibe that I like through these. I don't know if you guys are big fans of Beastie Boys or the White Stripes, but it's pretty cool. I like that. We have Forgetting Sarah Rick Marshall, which is Forgetting Sarah Marshall, which I recently just watched on TV. That's a pretty hilarious movie. I really love Russell Brand in that one, so great movie. But once again, like we are getting a vacation because there is a clip where Rick said that they're going on a vacation, and at some point he tells Morty, like, would I lie to you? And then he's like, I wouldn't lie to you. Well, that's a lie. And that takes place in what looks like some sort of cabin, some sort of getaway. So I would assume we're getting that part in that episode, but that hasn't really been fleshed out. We didn't really get anything except that gag, so we don't know why they're on vacation. And the last episode that was listed was Rick Mirai Jack, which is obviously Samurai Jack, a very popular Adult Swim show, maybe even one of the best Adult Swim shows that they've had ever. Very popular. So it was really exciting to hear that title. But once again, I didn't see Rick as a samurai. We've seen Rick as a samurai in the shorts, the crazy 2 anime sort of episodes that we got. We saw Rick as a samurai or as a ninja. And I don't think they're going to retread on that for an actual episode. So my advice would be that a lot of these titles are just because they're movies that Roiland and Harmon like, and they're not going to have a big impact on the actual episode. They might be some sort of they might be telling us a gag in the show, but I don't think we're getting the whole plot of these movies. I don't think we're getting a whole Independence Day episode, but it could be tied into that giant pixelated or polygon sort of Rick head that's made out of light that it shows defending the house in some sort of way. So I'm interested in that. By the way, in the new episode, we got the lockdown, which I kind of predicted that the shutters and everything on the house went so that maybe they would go to the Voltron part of the show. But it looks like that's more part of this weird sort of giant Rick polygon head that's defending the Earth from itself, or maybe it's going to be defending from the weird circuitry. But it looks like a bunch of soldiers and stuff show up on the Smith's front lawn, and they got the house locked down, and then a giant crazy Rick computer comes up and I don't know, defends the house in some sort of way. So if you haven't seen the season 3 trailer, I did post it in the fan group. Take a look at that. It didn't give us a ton more, which I'm actually happy about, because if it gave us a ton more, we'd have 3 whole trailers that gave us a shit ton of information. Kind of gives up a lot of the gags, and I would rather see them in person. So anyways, we're going to do a change of pace here. We're going to take a look. We're going to surround me with pictures here, and we're going to talk about some of the spin-offs that are coming up. And right before we get that, I want to take a look in the chat. Let's see what we got in the chat here. And Joey's here. Lance is here. We got Solo in the house. Tommy's in the house. DMT is in the house. DMT is my chat mod now, so it's got the nice blue name. DMT. Alex Roof is here. Brenda Lee Sedgwick is here. My wife is here. Fat Pat is here. Is it bad that I said Fat Pat more enthusiastically than my wife? Probably. I'll probably get in trouble for that later. Alan Prescott is here, our big champion in trivia. Matt Conway is here. He says, no interdimensional cable episode this year. Actually, I would think the Thanksploitation Spectacular would probably take place of that the same way that Morty's Mind Blowers took the place of interdimensional cable in that year. I don't know if they're going to do interdimensional cable, like actually call it interdimensional cable again, but Morty's Mind Blowers is it's a pretty good, it's kind of a replacement for that. Oh, and my wife says, boo. Solid Saturn's here. Very exciting. Awesome. Oh, so let's get to the other news that was in Rick and Morty. Big Rick and Morty news. And I will talk about season 5 more, but I did want to get this in. So it has been announced that there is going to be a spin-off series of these guys here. The Vindicators, which is one of my favorite Rick and Morty episodes. We got Crocubot. We got a Million Ants. We got Alan Rails. Fantastic episode. Basically, it's kind of like a superhero team up, which I thought would be kind of a dumb spoof for Rick and Morty, but Rick murders them all, so it turned out to be fucking hilarious. Really enjoyed that episode. Now, having a spin-off of the Vindicators is interesting because we don't know, one, is it going to be a spin-off of the Vindicators in an alternate dimension? Are they going to be is this going to be a prequel to before they were all murdered by Rick, before they were all sawed by Rick? Or is it going to be some other sort of iteration of the team? Are they going to be maybe more like superheroes? Or are they going to be like, actually, is it going to be an action sort of adventure instead of more of a comedy? What we do know is that it's going to be a short series. Adult Swim is doing short series for a few of their programs that are more popular. Rick and Morty, obviously, I believe, is the most popular Adult Swim show right now. So it definitely makes sense to put them in there. It's going to be online, so it's not going to be broadcast on TV. I mean, we can't say for sure. They could put them in blocks, but it was made to be put online for online shorts. There should be 8 to 10 of them is what we're hearing, and a short on Adult Swim could consist of 5 to 10 minutes normally. These are just things that we see with previous. We could be getting almost full-length episode or half-length episodes, but this is what's kind of going around there right now, is that it's probably going to be 5 to 10 minute episodes, and they're going to be online. A lot of people I've seen are not excited about this whole idea. I'm definitely excited about it. I don't know why anybody wouldn't be. The Vindicators episode was fantastic for me. Had a lot of great gags. I have been interested in seeing this before. Also, in the Rick and Morty comic, we might even have it right here. There you go. This very Rick and Morty comic here does have a Vindicators spoof, which was pretty hilarious. Basically, you can see it in this picture here. Basically, there's an unknown bad guy who is terrorizing the universe and trying to get the gauntlet, which is called the ball? It has something to do with balls. Oh, he's collecting all the balls. Yeah, so instead of collecting all the gems, he's making a giant gauntlet made out of balls. So that's kind of the gag, is that they basically just make a bunch of jokes about balls in this whole thing. But basically, you find out, spoiler in the end, you find out that Noob is basically Thanos and has collected the Infinity Ball Gauntlet. And it's pretty funny because Rick is basically cool with him. He doesn't give a fuck. Likes him better than the Vindicators anyways. So it was a really cool spin-off. that they did in the comic books of the Vindicators. I enjoyed that as well. So I'm excited about this new spin-off that we're getting. Plus, just the idea that we're getting a spin-off of Rick and Morty, like just the thought of that means that Adult Swim is still over the moon about Rick and Morty, still excited, still wants to put out new stuff there. Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland are being tapped to do so many different things right now. There's also a new I don't want to say spin-off that Dan Harmon is working on, and it's going to be the first series I believe it's the first series that's ever been run through blockchain. I don't know if you guys know what blockchains are or NFTs. Kind of a difficult concept to understand. For me, I don't know. You guys are, I know Lance and Alan and probably Solid Saturn and DMT. You're all way fucking smarter than me probably, but basically, a lot of people are concerned that they're using blockchain to put a cartoon on there because it's bad for the environment, basically uses a shit ton of electricity, and a lot of people are against them. So it's actually kind of gotten Dan Harmon in hot water with some people. I know that Justin Roiland has done a lot of NFTs for artwork, and people are kind of shitting on that all the time too. So it should be very interesting to see how this happens. The show is called Crapopolis. It hasn't had anything released about it except that it's about Greek gods. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with that. I don't know if it's some sort of spoof or if they're making up their own gods or if they're, going to make fun of Greek mythology in some sort of way. But that is coming out. It's been announced. I believe it's Fox who is putting the money for that. And it should be interesting to see where that goes. So we got The Vindicators and we got Crapopolis coming out. And we got season 5 of Rick and Morty coming out. Now, we do have a few other sort of spin-offs that we've had. We have Solar Opposites, which a lot of people swear on, and a lot of people think that it's great, it's amazing. I do know people who like it better than Rick and Morty, that Rick and Morty's carried them to that show, and now that show is the new hotness for them. For me, though, I can't get into Solar Opposites as much as Rick and Morty. I do like it, and there are some things that I think are great. I really love the character of Corvo, and I really love the pupa, but it's definitely missing something because it has Justin Roiland in it. It does not involve Dan Harmon. I feel like it's when you have a spin-off of a band that you like and it no longer features part of the band that you like. It's good, but it's not the same. For me, like one of my favorite bands is System of a Down. I'm really, really big into the band System of a Down. If you guys fucking like System of a Down, then go put that in the chat right there. Big fan of them. But them apart, when they had Darren had his solo band, Serge has his solo albums. I like them, but they're never going to repeat what happened with System of a Down to me solo. So that's how I feel about Solar Opposites. If I could go off on a little rant, a little tangent there, that's how I feel about Solar Opposites, is that it's good, but it's not everything together. It's not the same. What are we doing here? I just read a comment and then my screen went off. But anyways, super excited about watching the rest of Solar Opposites, but like it's just not the same. So I'll keep following that. I think I'm on episode 6 or 7. I have already talked about Gravity Falls so much on the show. Gravity Falls, fantastic show. If you guys haven't yet watched Gravity Falls, like it's a kid show. However, it's fucking hilarious for adults too. It's great. They have lots of like semi-adult content in there. Those hidden jokes that you get in shows like SpongeBob and things like that. And Adventure Time, sort of in the same sort of way as that is. Oh, sweet. Solo says, System of a Down is great, which is, yes. If you guys like System of a Down, you're my people. System of a Down is my favorite. Gravity Falls is awesome. It has such great characters in it. Season 1 is really fantastic. I would definitely tell you guys to watch it just for that. I've also talked before on this podcast about the Grandma's Virginity podcast. I'm going to start posting links to that if I can on Facebook, on my group, the Rick and Morty Fan Show at Facebook, because it's a fantastic, hilarious podcast. But I have to warn you guys, if you're going to tune into this podcast, and this is an old podcast, by the way, they're not currently making them anymore, but they do have all 41 episodes online. If you're going to listen to this, you better be okay with absolutely terrible fucking comedy. Like, it's terrible in a way that it's stuff that you should not laugh at. It's stuff that, you know, they talk about shit that you should not be laughing at, and the reason you're laughing at it is because you feel guilty about how terrible it is. So, like, they joke about things that you shouldn't joke about on that show, much in the same sort of way. What kind of comedian can I put in there for that? It's like kind of like Anthony Jeselnik stuff. I don't know if you guys know him. I don't know if I'm saying that name right, but he has like a pretty morbid, terrible sense of humor, and it's stuff that you don't think you should laugh at, but then once you start giggling, you laugh even more that you shouldn't even have been laughing at something that terrible. So anyways, spin-offs coming. I'm really excited about the Vindicators episode, but we don't really have much to go on there. I'm interested to see if maybe it'll be a new group of Vindicators, because we've gotten images that are of the Rick and Morty episodes, but we haven't gotten episodes of the show at all. We don't know anything about the show. We know nothing. We know it's a short called The Vindicators. So it could be a new team of Vindicators, and could feature characters that we know, could feature all new characters. It could feature characters that are going to re-enter the Rick and Morty universe, or these characters are going to enter after being popularized on this podcast, on this online show. So should be interesting to see what's going to happen there. Fish hooks I put up here. I'm still waiting for fish hooks. I still have not given it a chance yet. And it's not because I'm not excited about it. It's because it's on my list of things to do, which is a very wide, long-ranging list of things to do. So if anybody has seen the show Fish Hooks, I would, send in the chat. Let me know what you think of that show. It has the voice of Justin Roiland in it. Very early Justin Roiland. Another spinoff that we're getting, the subject of my interview clip that we're going to get is Orcs in Space. I don't want to tell you guys too much about Orcs in Space because it's going to spoil my interview, but the art style is fantastic. The art style is like nothing you've ever seen in a comic book before, unless you've read a couple of the indie comic books, but the art style is just fantastic. Absolutely love it. Orcs in Space. And have no fucking idea what to do with it. I'll let Abed Gaith, one of the writers, tell you about it in my interview that should be dropping. I don't want to say. I just want to say soon, because I don't have a hard date for it. But I have done most of the editing on this video. Very excited for it to release. So I would love it if you guys would all check that out when it comes out. It'll be posted, and super excited about that. With all that, I want to get to the chat. So let's get to the chat and actually read some of the things here.
I'm gonna cut in here for a second, Kieron.
Go
sorry,
ahead.
I tried to message you to ask for permission first. I don't not to turn your audience off or anything, but I've only seen one episode of Rick and Morty ever. So it's not a big thing for me, but it might be if I give it a chance. But I got the chance to see your interview there. And even though I don't watch Rick and Morty, I have had the opportunity to interview writers and producers and directors and, different podcast people and authors and actors, and I was utterly stunned by just how well Kieron handled himself and how well the interview comes off. Even though I don't know Rick and Morty, I felt so incredibly informed about what was going on during the interview. So I think you guys are absolutely going to love this pre-produced video Kieron's put together for you.
Awesome. I really appreciate that. Yeah, it's funny. Like, I always have to thank Sean because he put me on here to do this Rick and Morty show for you guys, and I'm glad that everyone in this, everyone in the chat loves this show, and I get lots of comments. I love the show. More show, please. It was all Sean. I basically said over and over again, like, hey, let's do a Rick and Morty show. Let's do a Rick and Morty show. And he's like, he's only seen 1 or 2 episodes, and he was like, fine, I'll see what I'll give you a shot. And you guys are making the show good. So super excited. I do know at least one person in the chat who was like getting on my back about this, you know who you are, about this interview and when it's going to come out. It's going to come out very soon. Very excited. Let's read some notes from the chat because I haven't done this in a while. We've been so packed with content, we haven't been able to get to this. DMT says, oh my God, I'm going to binge watch all of the Twilight Zone episodes tonight when I finish work. I haven't seen the Twilight Zone. Is that bad? That's probably bad. I know that's like a for sure watch for people who love TV, but I have not seen the Twilight Zone at all. Sean, have you seen Twilight Zone?
New one or old one?
I didn't know there was more. I thought there was only an old one.
So Jordan Peele just did one that only lasted a couple of seasons. I haven't seen any of his, but I have seen the original, a lot of it anyway.
And what'd you think?
It's cool for what it is, but you got to be into that sort of thing. If you're not into that thing, then you're going to be bored one episode in and probably not give it more of a chance. I like that sort of thing, so I continue to watch, but like, there's not much variety. Every episode's basically the same thing with a different case.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, I mean, I would like to give it a shot. It's funny. Abed, in this interview that I was talking about, he gave me a laundry list of things. He's a crazy with his pop culture references. I'll have to show you. I even talked to him about horror movies, and he gave me a whole list of horror movies to watch. So it was pretty interesting. He made my list of to-do things much longer. So Lance says, I binge watch Solar Opposites on the weekend. Lance, let me know. Oh, he says it was hilarious. Solo says, can't stop listening to Intergalactic. I'm assuming he's talking about the Beastie Boys song. Alex Roof says, it may be time to step back in time and explain why Rick ruined everyone's life and wipes their mind, explaining why he had memories of young Morty and that he's been gone for 20 years. You know what? I really think, and I've said this before on the show, if this isn't a repeat for some people, I don't think they're going to explain that. I don't think, if we do get that, it's going to be far in the future. I don't think they even want to go in that wormhole. We are going to get 2 to 3 probably episodes that have a tie into the larger world of Rick and Morty, but we're probably going to get 7, 8 episodes that have nothing to do with that. Don't want to touch any of that. I really don't think we're going to get any of that anytime soon, but that's just my guess. At the rate that they slowly show things that have to do with Evil Morty, Rick's past, and I mean, even when we think about things that we know about Rick's past, it's all end up being bullshit. Like, we've seen what happens when they enter Rick's brain, but then he said, oh, it's not a memory, I just fucking made that up. So we don't know if he blew up his wife or if that's how he came up with the portal gun technology. Like, we don't even know if that's his favorite fucking sports blooper. We really don't know, and that's one thing that I don't think we're going to get anytime soon. But I do. That's here's like, Alex. This is hoping. That's not my hope. That's just what I really think, to be honest. Let's actually, I'm going to go to further to. Solo says, next to Ryan Ridley interview. I would love to interview Ryan Ridley. I think he's a very underrated part of the show. Earlier on in Rick and Morty, I actually kind of thought of him as the third guy, the third guy in there, getting probably the most extra jokes in there after Harmon and Roiland. He's on all of the extra commentaries on the DVDs, and he's a voice in many episodes in background, so he's obviously around quite often. And I would love to interview him. I would go crazy if I could interview him. In fact, interviewing him would be close to me to interviewing Harmon or Roiland, but maybe I'll get on his back next. That's kind of how I just got to get on everybody's back here and say, like, just fucking let me interview you, man. Just do it. I'm not going to read what North America Hip Hop said, you asshole. Oh my God. Stop making fun of Montreal. Anyways, that's it for the chat here. Before we go, I would like to mention that actually, Sean, which episode is it? When's the 100th episode? When are we getting there for the 100th Fandom Empire Live? I want to make everybody.
It's next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. So, like, our next show?
Correct.
Oh, okay. So it's a good time. I'm letting you go now. Next Tuesday, there will not be a Rick and Morty fan show. I know. Boo, sad.
However, we are going to talk a little bit of Rick and Morty on the 100th episode.
Okay, so just tune into Fandom. I will post the link for Fandom Empire Live in the Rick and Morty fan show group, so that you guys can come get your Rick and Morty fix there. But it will be Fandom Empire Live. It won't be the Rick and Morty show next week, because we're doing our 100th Fandom Empire Live, which is a big milestone. Super excited. We're going to have lots of people. We're going to have lots of interesting stuff, and we're just going to do Fandom Empire Live the whole night. So that's going to be really exciting. And so if you don't see a link for Rick and Morty fan show next week, that's why, because we ain't fucking doing it. And then also, we're getting really close to our first episode before and after the season 5. And I would really like to do some reaction videos right after the episodes drops. So I'm not sure if they'll be on Facebook Live or where we're going to get that done, but I would really love to just come on here and do some like right away reaction videos to every single Rick and Morty episode, and hopefully you guys like that too. Another super chat in here, Mr. Matt Conway. I don't know if anybody solved his puzzle. Matt, before I read your super chat, my wife thinks that your puzzle is from Anatomy Park. Is that what it is? Is it Anatomy Park? Comment to the chat if you can. Matt Conway says Fandom Empire episodes are so long. Fandom Empire episodes, the Fandom Empire Live is super long. And you know why it's super long? Because we keep going longer, and people keep watching, which is awesome. So we have people stick around for that long. We've had people stick around till 1 o'clock in the morning with us sometimes, just shooting the shit. So that's why it's long. It's long because we enjoy doing it, and we don't really keep track of time. Oh, Alicia, my beautiful, beautiful wife, if you are still in the chat, you are wrong. It is not.
To be fair, Fandom Empire Live episodes aren't entirely that long. You can't count like when I do a weekend AMA or for doing a gaming stream or whatever. The actual Fandom Empire Live shows, which are Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays, we have a little more length. We can go a little longer if we want to. Thursdays, we have a show that's been following us every week that now moves to every other week. So it's usually only about 90 minutes long or so, Phantom Empire Live. Back when we did Star Wars Wastelands, we were doing 3 hours every Wednesday for 3 years.
Oh, man, that's crazy. But, Star Wars fans are crazy, so they'd stick around for that shit. Yeah. That's going to do it today for the Rick and Morty Fan Show. I really appreciate everyone coming on in, just like I always do. And I will look to drop, in place of that episode you're not going to get next week. Maybe we'll be able to get a cool video out that I was talking about. But yeah, that'll do it for us tonight. It is not an anatomy park. Please try again. I will let my wife know please try again. Because her idea was that on one of the boxes it says Bloom, and it looks like the robots were called something that starts with an X, like Xenon Bloom, and Dr. Xenon Bloom was in Anatomy Park. That was her reasoning. So it's crazy that she yanked that out from the pictures and it wasn't right. So go to the Rick and Morty Fan Show Facebook page, check out those pictures and see if you can solve the puzzle, because I fucking couldn't do it, and I know all the shit. I know all the shit about Rick and Morty. Anyways, that'll do it for us tonight. You can find me at Rick and Morty Fan Show on Instagram, on Twitter. On Twitter, I'm actually at Gogan Kieron, but you can also look up. Actually, it's down there. It's down there. It's right. All that shit that I'm going to say right now is right down here. But you can find me at Rick and Morty Fan Show on Instagram. You can, pretty much everyone in the chat here has me in Facebook. And you're all in the Facebook Superfans chat group. If you're not in the Superfans chat group and you want to be, then message me on any of these things, and I will add you to the Facebook chat Superfans Top Fans group, and would be excited to hear from anyone for that. That's it for socials. That's it for season 5 news. That's it for everything. So I will see you guys later. Peace out, guys.
Play something. Somebody play something.
Oh, shit. Oh. It's a good show. It's a great show. It's a shit show. Pickle